Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Health and Lifestyle series. Hope you enjoyed the post-Valentine's morning. And we are joined with our season guests, Abbas and Rene. Hey, Abbas, how was your Valentine's Day?
Well, it was great.
Yeah?
There was a lot of chocolates and had nice fun.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I was part of the single awareness day. I was like, sometimes you're just so busy and you realize, oh my God, I'm kind of single.
Well, we all go through that part in our life.
Yeah.
So it's not something new, I guess.
Yeah. Well, today we're here to talk about having a balanced lifestyle and the yin and yang of life. And I guess I'm not balanced in that area. You know, sometimes I feel like I'm overworking, and I pondered this thing called the duality of life for quite some time. And you know, with good there is bad, you know, and you know, with left there is right, and with hot there is cold. And we'll get into the thing called the yin and yang of life, and I talked to you about this this morning. And I guess you haven't heard much about it. Is that right, Abbas?
Yeah, I would like to know more of it from you. Yeah.
Okay.
See how it goes.
Awesome. Well, last week we talked about stress. You know, the good kind and the bad kind, the eustress and the distress. And this led me to thinking, you know that situation I was talking about, how my car broke down.
Right.
And it actually costed more than it should. You know, what should have been like $600 turned out to be $1,700 just to change an alternator. So my mechanic kind of messed up, and I mean, he agreed to pay half of it. Okay, so it actually costed more than that.
Oh well.
Yeah, so the computer system got burnt and the fuel injector got burnt, and all this I thought, you know, could have been avoided, you know. But then I thought, what's good about this situation? You know, I mean, one thing balanced out was that I bought the brand new alternator for $300 instead of $700, and I kept thinking, what's good about this situation? You know, why is the universe giving me this? And then when I was driving the car, I realized that the car was a lot more powerful than it was. So it actually kicked in when I accelerated. It really kicked in. So I thought that was probably the good thing. Maybe the computer system was already getting damaged, the fuel injector was already getting damaged, and I need to change the new one anyway. You know.
Oh, so, there you go. That's kind of related to the yin yang theory.
That's it. Yeah. So I thought, you know, something balanced out there. You know, and you were mentioning about the symbol, about the yin yang symbol.
Yeah, how there's dark and light, but also there's in darkness there's a hint of light, and the opposite goes for light as well. There's a hint of darkness.
Yes.
So it follows.
Wow, just in the morning, and you just figured that out.
Yeah. Well, I'm just looking at the symbol. That's how I interpreted it, and yeah, I've been told a few things in the past, but I didn't look into that deeply and didn't understand the meaning. But now we have the chance to know, and all of us can understand how deep this symbol can go through.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think the universe is designed to be balanced. I mean, have a look at the solar system, right? Without balance, our planets would be slung into outer space, isn't it? So there is a divine order there in the whole universe, and scientists have admitted, after working out all the formulas, there is a force behind it that makes it so. Okay, so but let's talk about how it relates to our everyday life. Okay, so I think that we need to have a balance on all levels of our being, like the physical, the mental, and the spiritual. Yep. But before we go on, I mean, Abbas, what do you think? Is a balanced lifestyle?
Well, speaking from experience, if you're going through a dark time, for example, you got rejected from a job or a failure in a project or so on, there's always something behind it. So there will be light eventually.
Yes.
In other words, don't give up. It's part of life. It's part of the cycle.
Yeah. So some things we don't see, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
you don't know what's hiding behind the corner for you.
Yeah.
Whether it's good or bad, it's always there.
That's right.
We can't avoid it. It's the cycle.
Yes. Well, this principle, I think it comes out a lot from a book called the Tao Te Ching. Okay, it's a book that I really hold dear to my heart, and it talks a lot about that, and I'll mention a story that it's a Taoist story, and I'll just find that. Hang on a sec. Okay. So you just mentioned about good and bad. There's always the yin and yang symbol. There's the white part. Every light has an inherent darkness, right? And every darkness has an inherent light. So that's what the whole yin and yang symbol symbolizes. And I'll just read out this story. It's a really great story about how you mentioned, if something bad happens, you don't see that what's good, following it, right? So, okay, so it's a farmer about a farmer who owned a horse and has a son, right? One day, this horse ran away. The neighbors came to express their concern. Oh, that's too bad. How are you going to work on the fields now? The farmer replied, it's good luck or bad luck, who knows, right?
Interesting.
Yep. In a few days, his horse came back and brought another horse with her. Now the neighbors were glad. Oh, how lucky! Now you can do twice as much work as before. The farmer replied, good luck, bad luck, who knows? The next day, the farmer's son fell off the new horse and broke his leg. The neighbors were concerned again. Now that he's incapacitated, he can't help you around. That's too bad. The farmer replied, good luck, bad luck, who knows? So soon the news came that a war broke out and all the young men were required to join. One moment, please. Oh, really? Sorry about that, everyone. I think we had our music in the background there, and hopefully you were able to hear us. But we'll continue, and okay, we'll just go on with that story again. And we're joined by Rene now.
Hi,
and
hi, everyone.
Hey, Rene. And we're talking about the yin and yang of life and how to live a balanced lifestyle. And I'm just going on with a story that Abbas was talking about good and bad. And we don't see the inherent good in the bad situation. So I think this story about the farmer really entails and speaks about that. So, okay, so I'll go on with that story again. Okay, so one day, there was a farmer who owned a horse and has a son. And one day his horse ran away. The neighbors came to express their concern. "Oh, that's too bad. How are you going to work on the fields now?" The farmer replied, "Good luck, bad luck, who knows?" In a few days, his horse came back and brought another horse with her. Now the neighbors were glad. "Oh, how lucky. Now you can do twice much work as before." But the farmer replied, "Good luck, bad luck, who knows?" The next day, the farmer's son fell off the new horse and broke his leg. The neighbors were concerned again. "Now that he's incapacitated, he can't help you around. That's too bad." But the farmer replied, "Good luck, bad luck, who knows?" Soon, the news came that a war broke out and all the young men were required to join the army. The villagers were sad because they knew that many of the young men will not come back. The farmer's son could not be drafted because of his broken leg. His neighbors were envious. "How lucky! You get to keep your only son." The farmer replied, "Good luck, bad luck, who knows?" So I guess in that story, what do you get out of that, Abbas?
Well, that kind of shows exactly how the symbol works. When there's light, there's darkness. When there's darkness, there's light. So when he broke his leg, it was bad luck at first, but it turned into some sort of a good luck for not going to the army. Yeah. So, in other words, for every action, there's an opposite and equal amount of reaction.
Exactly. Wow. You just, in one morning, you just figured that out.
Yeah.
Rene, have you heard that story before?
Story, no.
You haven't? Yeah. Well, every action, so, he lost his horse.
Yeah.
And all the neighbors thought it was like a lot of bad luck. But the farmer just knew that life's always changing. Who knows though if that was good luck or bad luck, So it turned out to be good luck because that horse brought back another horse. So they had two horses.
You can't predict everything.
And then the neighbors were saying that's a lot of good luck. But then the farmer says bad luck, who knows? Because his son fell off that horse and broke his leg. Yeah, and then it turns out that the leg broken was perceived as bad luck, actually was good luck because he didn't have to go to the army. He wasn't fit enough. So I just thought that story...
It's a bit like life, You help people, you project positive energy, and it comes back to you.
Yeah. Well, it's just like that story about the king's ring. How he had a really unfortunate situation, and one of his advisors told him to get a ring, that says this too shall pass. So whatever negative situation you're in, it will pass. And then something like you said, Abbas, there's an equal and opposite
reaction.
Yeah, reaction. So something good will come out of it. Only if I guess when you perceive it that way, I guess sometimes we tend to think negative about a situation. So whatever good happens, we still think it's negative. Hey.
So sometimes the negative part, we take it for granted, and we don't see the cycle, and we have to see it in a new light. In other words, think outside the box, and that way, and eventually, good things will happen.
Yeah.
It's like this story for the horse and the army and stuff. That kind of relates to it.
Yeah. Well, I think the universe, in a way, naturally it balances itself out. Like I said, the solar system, if things weren't in balance, what would happen to our Earth? Would be just like thrown into space, right? So so everything, I think, aims to achieve balance. So
It's like day and night, where you have day follows night when there's night follows day.
yeah. So even though there's darkness, you know that the sun will come out. The next day.
And you wouldn't know good without evil.
That's right. So, what do you think? In your life, you have balance. What do you think is a balanced lifestyle? Like for me, I like to think that I'm a balanced person. When I eat like fatty foods and things, I always balance it with vegetables and fruit. When I'm more stressed out and things, I know how to relax. I guess maybe I don't relax enough.
No comfort food.
Yeah, comfort food. Yeah, some junk food here and there. So I guess that's balance as well, isn't it? So I have healthy foods, and then I actually have some junk food as well, and I guess we got to learn how to balance. I mean, learning things like meditation.
Maybe exercise too.
Yeah, exercise as well. Yep.
Yeah, well, look, like they say, there's good things, like if you do too much of a good thing, it's not good for you. So you need a little bit of a balance of everything. Not too much of one thing, so you can...
Yeah, you realise that too, isn't it? Like, too much of anything is not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even I know healthy eating is great, you know what I mean? But just imagine...
It's hard though.
Just imagine, like, living in, like, the world, there is pollution and things, you can't avoid it. Not now anyways, right? So if you kept yourself... I just thought about this. We're going deep into this, okay? So if you just ate healthy and just stayed healthy all the time, your body... if something unclean comes into your body, is your body able to handle it? Do you know what I mean?
True. It's like when you have a look at the missionaries that went to Africa, to the islands, those that just kept on their ration packs and so forth got very, very sick. Whereas the ones that ate the local food, the way they prepared it and so forth,
right.
They tended to build up immunity.
Immunity, exactly. Yes. So really, too much of anything is not the best anyway. You know what I mean? It's all in moderation, isn't it?
True.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll go overseas to my country, right? I mean, the sanity there is not as good as Australia. You know what I mean? So when drinking water, if you're from Australia, you go over there, you go to the toilet a lot. You know what I mean? So you got to just drink bottled water and things, But over there, I don't know, maybe they just get used to it because we're just too clean. Do you know what I mean? But then when you get in an environment where it's not as clean, you're not going to be able to handle it, right? So
it's like Rene said, they developed an immunity.
Immunity, yeah. So sometimes eating unhealthy food sometimes maybe creates that little bit of immunity. Do you know what I mean? If you're always like fully, eating healthy and nothing dirty at all, and then as soon as you have some junk food, you're going to feel sick. You know what I mean? So, I mean...
Everything in moderation.
That's right, everything in moderation.
Like the kids used to play in the backyard, sort of dig in the ground and build sandcastles and stuff like that. And the minerals were absorbed through the skin. that was the good side. The bad side is you have to be careful where they're digging, that it's not polluted, that there's no worms or other really infectious things that can get into the body and basically kill the child.
Yeah, I heard that. When you get a cold, you don't get a cold for a long time, and then when you do get it, it's really bad. But if you do have it more often, just say once a year, or
you take these.
What's that?
Herbal tablets.
Herbal tablets. Okay. I guess you're balancing yourself, Rene. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if you say you got a cold once a year or something, not saying that you should, you know what I mean? But if you did, then it won't be as bad if you didn't have it for like 10 years.
Yeah,
and then you
true.
do it, then your body doesn't know it, you know what I mean? And you'll feel really, really sick. It'll be really bad.
That's why people get flu injections.
Yeah.
So they get they basically get the flu, but it's nowhere near as bad as the.
I'm not advocating vaccines and things like that, but that's kind of how it works, isn't it? And so I think we need to be balanced in all levels, like physical, mental, and the spiritual. So in physical, there is a quote from the Tao Te Ching, as I mentioned earlier, that he mentions that there is a time to be vigorous and a time to be at rest, and that is how nature does it. And if we allow our bodies to do the same, okay. So we have time to work and a time to play and a time to rest. So I think, do you think that's what it's saying there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. And also mental, okay, to be balanced mentally is not to be too rigid or too loose in our minds. We find ourselves to be too rigid most of the time. I mean, if you think about it, whatever's hard tends to break easily. It's like if we become like soft as grass, it bends. Okay, so if a strong wind came, all right, and it blew across, the tree and the grass, okay. If it's really powerful wind, the tree will be broken, right? But the grass will still remain because it's flexible.
It's a bit like those houses that they're building in the earthquake zones.
Yeah.
The local residents are using bamboo and sort of like mud huts.
Okay.
And they actually withstand the
hurricanes,
earthquake a lot more than the general concrete buildings.
Right. Okay. Yep.
But there's other ways that they can sort of like design it to.
Japan that make the buildings, isn't it? They're able to.
They sway.
Yeah.
And they've actually got special metal and rubber footings. It's sort of like a layered metal and rubber. So when the earthquake hits, the building tends to stay still, and that rubber and metal sort of like moves, left and right.
Yeah. I guess developers are working out ways to make their structure more flexible to withstand those, the
natural disasters.
Yeah, the disasters and things. Yeah.
What people don't know is all these skyscrapers are actually moving, and they design it to move quite slowly.
Yeah.
So people don't feel the effect, like they're actually sort of like rocking back and forth when they're at the top.
Yeah. I guess we got to have a bit of both. I think to be flexible. I mean, to be strong, and to be flexible at the same time. And I thought about this yesterday, about not being too rigid in your mind and not being too loose in your mind. You know, if
you're too loose, you'll shake apart.
That's right. If you're too loose, you don't get things done as well. Imagine you're at home, you just think about it, like you're just sitting on your couch, you're just so loose, and the more you get into that, you end up doing nothing, right? But if you're too hard in your mind, then you just stress out, you know, and you probably don't see other avenues to how to do the thing that the task that's required. So I guess you got to have both, you know, not
balance.
to be. That's right. Yeah, not be too stressed and, you know, working too hard, and not to be too loose.
Work and rest balance.
Exactly. We also need to have some balance in our spiritual practice as well. That's my opinion. You know, having spiritual practice doesn't mean we have to take ourselves away from the world. We still stay connected with the world, and like learning, you know, earning a living and creating relationships, and I think that's spiritual in itself. So I mean, some people are just too much into their spiritual practice and they just forget about everything. It's like, become a monk, might as well go to the cave or something, you know.
All right.
Yeah. But
they disconnect themselves from the outside world and focus on spiritual energy and stuff.
Yeah. I think we're here on this world for a reason, right?
Each one of us has a purpose.
Yeah.
On this earth.
Yeah. So we'll be part of the world. We're earning a living. We're creating relationships. But at the same time, we need to be, you know, stay connected to our spiritual side as well, you know, and not. I guess that comes down to being non-attached. Would you say? You know, you're being part of the world, but you're not.
You're not completely.
Involved, you know what I mean? Yeah. I remember a quote from Alan Watts, one of my gurus, who's passed away in 1970s. He mentioned, what was that quote? Sorry, it just slipped my mind. I might come back to that. Is there any other ways that you guys, you know, feel that you have a balanced lifestyle in your areas? How about Abbas? Are you? Is there any other areas that you feel like you're probably in balance? How about areas that you're imbalanced? You feel like you probably need to correct?
Well, the first thing that struck me was when you asked me that question is going to health. For me, I really enjoy exercising and playing on the field as a soccer player, but when I had my injury, I mentioned this previously, probably that's the sort of imbalance that I have. But also, now when you presented the Yin Yang theory today, it kind of gave me the idea where I had bad luck, but this time is kind of good luck, because that's when I made my discovery. When I was injured, I made the discovery of being a designer and creative thought. And
really?
I didn't think of that. Yeah, that was a good time.
You're serious?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So there you go. So
so like, that story is exactly what
Yin Yang theory is right there.
You broke your leg too, was it? You broke your leg?
Yeah, it was a knee injury, not a broken leg.
So same with the son who fell off the horse, broke his leg. He didn't have to go to the army. But yourself, you actually made a discovery.
That's right.
What you wanted to do.
Good luck, bad luck, who knows?
Who knows, exactly. How about Rene? Have you had any...
well, me... The three major things that I find that need balance is your home life, basically a home where you live, your studies, and your work.
Right.
you need at least one of them stable.
One of them.
At least
What if
one
the
of
other
them.
one falls apart? You have to balance that side, right?
Look,
Yeah.
life happens. Things happen. Unavoidable things, actually. You might lose your job. You might change your job. You might change your house. You may get into debt and get into some trouble. Or you might finish your study or take on new study. So I found these are the 3 pillars in your life, and you need at least one of them to be rock solid, while the other 2 are changing.
Right. Okay. So which one is rock solid?
It's better if all 3 of them are solid, but doesn't always happen that way.
Yes. I guess we're all aiming to achieve rock solid on all levels, isn't it?
That's right.
But then we talked about being flexible as well. So don't be too hard on it, but no, don't be too loose on it either.
And besides the 3 pillars, you've got three other major things that you need to look into. One is your rest or your health. The second would be your friends, to support and to nourish you and to help you achieve what you want to achieve. And if you're not helping, well, you need new friends. And the third is play, as in enjoyment, hobbies, sports, and so on.
Right. That's great, Rene. That's great. Well, the quote from Alan Watts just came to mind. So he says that, when you can be totally attached from life, that is when you can be totally involved. Something along those lines. But do you get that point? So we're talking about spiritual life. We're talking about being balanced in spiritual life. So
it's similar to one of the quotes that I found the other night. Is you're the happiest when you can let go of what you can't change.
Nice.
Nice. That's a beautiful quote.
Yeah. I kind of had this down as well. I see myself doing some balanced things here. I take action to resolve things, but I let go of things that I cannot change. If we can, it's kind of similar to that, isn't it? So if we can aim to achieve that kind of balance there, I think we'll be able to live more happy lives.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll be right back. Okay, right after this track on living a balanced lifestyle. Please leave us your thoughts on our YouTube channel at Down Under Radio Programs, or on the website Sam's Health and Lifestyle Series on the Facebook page. We'll be right back with after this track, and see you soon. All right, we're back, everyone, and we're talking about living a balanced lifestyle and the yin and yang of life. And did you find anything there, Abbas, about living a balanced lifestyle?
Well, I was asking myself, how can I have a healthy lifestyle? And throughout our conversation just before the break, you guys mentioned a few good points where you exercise or you eat something healthy. So I found 8 points that are relating to this sort of information that you provided. It says, first point is drink more water. Most of us actually don't drink enough water every day. So just thinking about it, our bodies contain as about 75% of water. So we really need to nourish ourselves, in other words.
Yes.
Very important.
Yes.
Point 2, get enough sleep. When you don't rest well, you compensate by eating more. So a lot of people just tend to eat while they stay up late at night. So that's kind of bad, because also if you're not sleeping much, there's this sort of liquid that when you're sleeping, your mind produces this liquid. When you don't have enough sleep, you're missing that liquid for the day, or I don't know how it works, but this is what I heard. I found that very important. And
I guess because you're eating at night, and then I guess you're eating throughout the day because you didn't get enough sleep. You need that energy to stay.
Yeah, and sometimes you eat just to stay awake.
Yeah, yeah. I have sometimes a bit of chocolate just to stay up and do some work.
Or coffee. Unhealthy things start craving. You start craving for those sort of things.
And the sleep is there to allow your body to relax and repair itself.
Yeah, pretty much. New blood cells and tissues and stuff just start regenerating. And yeah, sleeping is part of life. In other words, yin yang. you can't prolong sleeping. Even if you do, eventually you're gonna fall asleep. You'll be forced to sleep. So the third point is meditate. That's part of the spiritual.
Yep.
And for the physical, it's just exercise, where it could be cycling, running, just having a walk around the block.
I see meditation as just going back to nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah, just going back to nothingness and back into silence, because the world can be chaos. So just go back. So balance it out with being in silence and being in nothing.
It is, but I wouldn't say it's nothing though.
Yeah, well,
meditation tends to be more of a form of self-hypnosis, where you're concentrating on one thought.
Yeah. Well, if you want to get esoteric about it, really nothing is not nothing. It's just like space is not really nothing, But you get to the point that of being in no mind, because the purpose of meditation is to stop the thinking. It is to stop. That's the purpose of meditation.
You can never stop thinking.
That's the thing. That's why it's really hard to. But you're not stopping thinking. You're just allowing it. So not to. Because our mind. If you meditate, do you do meditation?
Not for ages.
You don't. Yeah. Well, I do it in the mornings. In about at least 5-10 minutes. You think it's easy? It's probably the hardest thing.
But you're concentrating on one particular thought, aren't you?
No,
when you meditate.
When you meditate, the ideal is to concentrate on your breathing.
Yeah, you listen to your breathing.
That's it, and you'll see all your thoughts start arising, and you keep bringing it back to the breath.
That's right.
Bring it back to the breath.
Concentrate on one thought.
Yeah. You can think about anything, about one thing. You know what I mean? It's concentration, but the idea is to not get carried away with your thoughts. Because you could, in the morning, you start to think, what am I going to do today? What I'm going to eat for breakfast. All these deadlines are happening.
Chaos.
Yeah. So that all arises, and you can't. What happened yesterday? What's going to happen tomorrow? And all this stuff just comes to your mind, and all these self-talk with yourself as well. So that's the thing. But the idea is not to resist that. You know what I mean? Because you can't stop your thoughts. You just allow it. You just allow it to arise.
A lot of the times, you just allow your thoughts to. Untangle while you sleep.
What do you mean?
Well, the best ideas is when you sleep on it. I know it's an old saying, and people think that it's an old wives' tale, but if you have a problem or if you're looking for a solution, you think about it the day before. You can have random thoughts of this and that, but you'll find when you sleep on it, your mind will tend to come up with an answer in the morning.
Yeah.
It may take you more than one night's sleep, but it'll get there.
Resolving issues and things. Is that what you're talking about?
Could be issues, could be a solution to a problem that you're looking at.
Right.
Or it could be goals. If you concentrate hard enough on your goal, you will eventually find somehow
How to get there.
Yeah, your mind starts to unlock doors that you never thought of before.
That's why people put these posters up and signs and stuff to remind themselves before they go to sleep and when they wake up what their goals are.
Yeah.
But I tend to, at night time, when I'm winding down, I don't want to think about issues or anything like that. I just want to, just relax and just think about good things,
Positive thinking.
That's right. So that'll help you to sleep.
It does. The thing is, it happens in the background. It doesn't happen in the foreground.
Yeah. And in the morning, I meditate is to reset myself. Because when you wake up, sometimes you're like, it's all over the place. Do you know what I mean? What should I do first? What should I do next? You know what I mean? And
that's why you've got a list that you made up the day before.
Yeah, having a list, that's really good to have a list beforehand, what you want to do.
Because it clears the mind.
Yeah. So meditation is to, the idea is, like really good meditators, they're able to not have any thought. But I think that's possible. You know what I mean? It's not an easy thing, but the idea is not to have thoughts. You know what I mean? As Alan Watts says, we all, everyone has nothing to think about but just thoughts. So if you really do you understand that point? Alan Watts is one of my gurus, and when you think about that, we don't have anything to think about but just thoughts. It's just happening in your mind. It's not really happening in reality. You know what I mean? So the past doesn't exist, the future doesn't exist. All your worries, all your cares, all your, so everything in life is just happening in your mind.
Sam, I'm just curious. How long do you take to meditate?
For me, I did do a few classes for meditation, and if you do it in a group setting and with some guidance, you can do like half an hour to an hour meditation. But I find that when I'm doing it by myself in the morning, just so busy. Sometimes you think, I don't have much time, but I do about 5, 10 minutes. Even that amount is good already. And I find that my day works out a lot better when I do that, and it's more focused. So, like I said, it's basically, for me, it's just to reset myself. And then you find during the day, if something is a bit stressful, then you can always remember to go back to your breathing, because you did it in the morning, and you kind of create that kind of rhythm. And and you start, when you're meditating, you just want to think about good things, Yeah.
Do you surround yourself with a special atmosphere or sitting posture or anything?
Yeah, well, I just do a normal seated position,
Where you fold your legs.
Yeah, but I don't do it like the yogi masters do, put one leg on top of the other. But but you can meditate in any position. I mean, you get a seating position. But I just prop myself up with a pillow, and
do you meditate in the park or at home or
at home? Yeah, in my bedroom. Yeah. So
it's nicer in the park though. Fresh air, trees.
Yeah.
Breeze.
That would be
bit
nice.
of sunlight.
Yeah. It'd be nice to do it out in the park. But I like to do it when nobody's there. And
no distractions.
Yeah, exactly.
I heard yoga has a similar sort of effect in terms of meditation. Do you know anything about that?
Yoga, I haven't tried it, but I heard, it does have.
It's got a similar effect.
Yeah. I would say that it's kind of meditation in motion, I would say, there is a principle called, in Taoism, I think, it's called Wu Wei. It's doing without doing, and I might have a segment on that, and but not on this one. So Wu Wei means doing without doing, and it's something that we can practice. Sometimes I feel like when I'm washing the dishes and I'm stressed, I gotta wash a whole bunch of dishes, you know what I mean, and you start complaining about it, but doing without doing is like you're doing it, but behind it you're not doing it. Do you know what I mean? So,
it's like your consciousness is not there. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, it's not.
It's like you're wandering somewhere else.
No,
you're not concentrating on what you're doing. You're automatically doing that and thinking about something else.
Yeah, it's like there's two parts of the doing. I think there's two parts. You're doing it, right? But there's the inner. You don't want to do this. Do you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
And then when you don't want to do it and you're doing it, it's like you're actually doing an extra doing. Do you know? You know what I mean? So we just remove that extra doing, and you just get there. It's just like.
But sometimes you love what you're doing, so
it's just like, look, okay, there's a bottle here, right? Okay, I'm gonna pick up this bottle, right? And I'm trying to pick up this bottle. I'm trying to pick up the bottle. What are you doing? Are you actually picking up the bottle? You're not, right? But how do you pick up the bottle?
By physically picking it up.
Picking it up.
Yeah.
So you're not trying to pick up the bottle. You know what I mean? You're just picking it up. So just like doing the dishes. You're just doing the dishes. You're not trying to do the dishes. You're just doing the dishes. Yeah. So it's a principle that I think is quite interesting, and I will have a segment on that. And but for now, is there anything else you want to add, Rene?
No, not really. I think that's about it.
That's about it. Yep. Well, I really enjoyed this conversation with Abbas and Rene, and I thank you for joining me.
You're welcome.
And thank you all for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed today's discussion. And please leave us your comments at Down Under Radio Programs on YouTube or the Facebook page, Sam's Health and Lifestyle Series, plus Talking Deep. So we'll see you all next week for another edition, and enjoy the music and have a wonderful and balanced day.